You're likely exhausted right now, but not because you've been working hard. You're exhausted because your brain is leaking the very energy you need to build wealth, and you probably don't even realize it's happening. The scary part is that most people aren't failing because they lack talent. They're failing because their mental reward system has been hijacked by a modern environment designed to keep them overstimulated and underfocused. If you find yourself unable to stick to a budget, quitting your side hustle after 2 weeks, or feeling mentally heavy while still having the energy to scroll for hours, you're suffering from dopamine leaks. These micro-habits are quietly rewiring your brain to prefer instant, low-effort hits over the delayed, high-effort rewards that actually lead to financial freedom. In this video, we're going to analyze the 7 silent dopamine leaks that are keeping you broke and, more importantly, how to plug them so you can rebuild your financial discipline. The first leak is the digital slot machine, short-form content. The biggest destroyer of modern focus is the infinite scroll. Your brain evolved in an environment where rewards were slow and connected to effort, but now, one swipe gives you instant novelty. Platforms like TikTok and Instagram Reels train your brain through variable rewards. You never know when the next interesting thing is coming, so your brain keeps checking, exactly like pulling the lever on a slot machine. This matters for your bank account because it destroys your boredom tolerance. When your brain is conditioned for high-intensity rewards every 15 seconds, the slow, repetitive work of managing finances, studying a market, or building a business starts to feel physically painful. You're not lazy. Your reward threshold has simply changed. The second leak is the notification reflex. Every time your phone pings and you immediately check it, you pay what neuroscientists call a switching cost. Your attention is forced to jump from one task to another, creating attention fragmentation where you never fully engage with anything. You half work, half think, and half plan your future. Over time, this creates cognitive residue, where parts of your attention remain stuck on the last notification, leaving your brain feeling overloaded despite accomplishing very little. You end the day feeling busy but strangely dissatisfied, and that mental emptiness often leads to revenge spending or impulsive purchases just to experience a brief sense of reward. The third leak is constant background stimulation. Many people can no longer eat without watching something, work without music, or even walk without listening to a podcast. This constant stream of stimulation prevents your brain from reaching the state of internal clarity required for deep thinking. Boredom used to be the bridge to creativity, reflection, and problem solving. Today, we treat boredom like an emergency that must be escaped. If you can't sit alone with your own thoughts, you'll never develop the internal voice needed to make high-level financial decisions or recognize opportunities that others miss because they're too distracted by endless noise. The fourth leak is emotional regulation through consumption. For many people, the phone or the credit card isn't really about entertainment. It's about escape. Whenever stress, loneliness, frustration, or financial anxiety appears, they reach for a quick dopamine hit, a new purchase, a food delivery app, or an hour of mindless scrolling, to avoid sitting with uncomfortable emotions. The problem is that dopamine is being used to hide the issue instead of solving it. A dopamine detox forces those buried emotions back to the surface. It feels uncomfortable at first, but facing that discomfort is essential if you want lasting mental clarity, healthier habits, and long-term financial growth. The fifth leak is the perfectionist trap. Perfectionism quietly destroys consistency because it convinces you that if you can't do something perfectly, there's no point doing it at all. People believe that if they can't save a large amount of money or work 10 hours on a project, they might as well do nothing. They miss one day of a routine and then allow the entire week to fall apart. But consistency has never been about perfection. It's about repetition. Your brain changes through small actions repeated over and over again, strengthening neural pathways with every cycle. When you quit because things aren't perfect, you never reach the invisible stage where progress begins to compound. The sixth leak is immediate reward bias. Wealth grows through delayed rewards, investing, learning new skills, building businesses, and developing relationships over time. Unfortunately, modern stimulation trains your brain to expect immediate emotional payoffs. This creates impatience with reality itself. If a side business doesn't make money after 1 month or an investment doesn't double within a week, an overstimulated brain assumes the effort was pointless and gives up. Most people aren't broke because they lack a brilliant business idea or a secret investment strategy. They're broke because their brains have forgotten how to value rewards that arrive slowly. The seventh and final leak is depending on motivation. Many people wait until they feel inspired before taking action. The problem is that motivation is simply an emotion, and emotions change constantly depending on sleep, stress, hormones, and daily circumstances. If your financial success depends on your mood, your progress will always be inconsistent. Highly disciplined people don't possess unlimited willpower. They build better systems. They stop negotiating with themselves every morning and instead make productive habits like saving money, investing, studying, or doing deep work automatic parts of their daily routine rather than emotional decisions. Fortunately, plugging these dopamine leaks doesn't require becoming a productivity robot overnight. It starts with redesigning your environment and changing your identity. First, reduce accessibility. Don't rely on self-control alone. Delete the apps that trigger endless scrolling, keep your phone in another room while you work, and remove shopping apps or unhealthy temptations from your immediate environment. Friction is your ally. The harder it is to perform a bad habit, the less likely your brain is to choose it. Second, start smaller than your ego wants. If your goal is to read more, begin with 2 pages. If you want to exercise, commit to 10 minutes. Small actions dramatically reduce resistance, making it much easier to get started. Once momentum begins, continuing becomes surprisingly effortless. Third, shift your identity. Stop saying, "I'm trying to save money," and start saying, "I am a disciplined investor." Your brain naturally tries to behave consistently with the person you believe you are. Every time you resist a dopamine leak and choose a productive action instead, you reinforce that new identity with real evidence. Finally, practice intentional boredom. Schedule moments of complete silence without reaching for your phone or any form of entertainment. Rebuilding your boredom tolerance is one of the fastest ways to restore your ability to focus deeply. During this process, your brain gradually becomes sensitive again to slower, healthier rewards instead of constantly craving intense stimulation. The greatest transformation after plugging these dopamine leaks isn't simply becoming more productive. It's regaining control. You stop being a passenger driven by every impulse and become the driver of your own attention. In a world designed to steal your focus, the ability to sustain attention has become one of the rarest and most valuable assets you can possess. Your brain isn't broken. It's overloaded. If you begin changing what you repeatedly feed it today, then 30 days from now your mind, and very likely your bank account, will look very different. Protect your attention. It's the single greatest investment you can make in your future. If you found this analysis valuable, make sure to like the video and subscribe for more practical guides on rewiring your brain, building better habits, and creating lasting financial discipline. Before you leave, ask yourself one question: what would your life look like 1 year from now if you finally plugged these dopamine leaks today?